Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission. This one.
Um,
Yeah.
Tupac Shakur.
Okay.
Machiavelli.
You need charts. You need to see the chart.
Good morning, students. Are you out there? Okay, those of you that are for government, can I see your names? Type your names, let me see. And get ready for today. Just get ready for today. Make sure you are serious. Don't write on the screen of your everything you are using. Those of you that are chatting unnecessarily, please off your hands and move out of that place. Let's face the reality. Today we have government. Okay, the topic is Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission. Electoral what? Commission. Electoral Commission. Then what do you understand by Electoral Commission? Yes, most of you must have heard much about Electoral Commission, especially in our country, Nigeria. Electoral Commission, they did this, they did the other one. Today, let's know much about the Electoral Commission. Electoral Commission is a body responsible for organizing and conducting election in a political system. Organizing and conducting election in a political system. That means a political system can be a country, a state, a political system. You know, in government, we talk about state as a country. So electoral commission is responsible for the conduct of election in a political system. The political system is like our country or state, Nigeria. It is the body responsible for the conduct of free and fair what? Elections in what? A country. That is electoral commission. It has both legal and constitutional power to carry out its responsibilities. It has legal, constitutional, but that means it is backed by law and it is backed by the constitution that this body will be set aside to carry out the issue of what? Elections. And they have to say that the elections are free and fair. The commission is headed by a chairman and other members of the commission. A chairman and other members of the commission. The appointment of members of the commission is for a fixed period of what? Time. It's for a fixed period of what? Time. Appointment of members of the commission is for a fixed period. That means they are to work for a particular time. When their time elapses, all of them will go. If they give a very good account of themselves in office, they can be asked to retain their positions. Electoral commissions. That's the topic. If you are just joining us, we are discussing electoral commission. And the subject is government. We say that it's the body responsible for organizing and conducting election in a political system. We say that the political system can be your country. So this body will be set aside in a country to conduct elections. Their main work is conducting what? Elections. Issues of what? Election. And election must be what? Free and fair. We say that this body is both legal and has both legal and what? Constitutional power to carry out its responsibilities. It is backed by law. It is constitutional. That means the constitution of the country supports electoral commission. The commission is headed by a chairman and other members of what? The commission. Headed by who? A chairman and other members of the commission. There must be a chairman and there are other members that will work with the chairman to see that the elections are being conducted in a free and fair manner. The appointment of members of the commission is for a fixed period of time, maybe for 4 years, 5 years. It depends on the country. They are to conduct it for a fixed period of what? Time. We call it Independent Electoral Commission in Nigeria currently. That's the name, Independent National Electoral Commission. The name of the commission may change with time. In Nigeria, it was called, in Nigeria First Republic, or the Second Republic, we call it Federal Electoral Commission, FEDECO. In the Second Republic and National Electoral Commission in the Third Republic, NEC. In Nigeria, it was called Federal Electoral Commission in the Second Republic. That reminds me, which republic are we now? You can type it there, let me see. Those of you that are current and following, type it. No, not 19. Keep working on it. I want to know it. If you get it, you have a very good reward waiting for you. Then we call it NEC in the Third what? Republic. In the Fourth Republic, it is known as the what? Independent National Electoral Commission. Independent National Electoral what? Commission. That's correct, Hanifa. That is Ninth Republic. Thank you very much. Keep it up. Okay, these are the states in Nigeria where the Electoral Commission controls. It controls all these states. And in these various states, we have different branches of the National Independent National Electoral Commission in it. Yes. Okay. I don't want it to slide. I want it to be forward. Okay. So that I can be touching it because it's good. Thank you very much. Okay, we call it Electoral Commissions and Chairman since 1960 to date. These commissions have been in place since the First Republic of Nigeria. Yes, it has been in place since the First Republic, and we have different national chairmen that controls the electoral body in Nigeria. Let's go, for instance, in 1960 to 1966, we have the Federal Electoral Commission. We call it FEDECO. Yeah, the chairman was Israel Exua from Cross River State. We have 1979 to 1982, still the same FEDECO, Federal Electoral Commission, and the chairman was Michael Annie from Cross River State. 1982 to 1983, we have the Federal Electoral Commission. Chairman was Justice Ovie Whiskey from Delta State. It's still the same FEDECO. 1987 to 1989, General Ibrahim Babangida changed the name to National Electoral Commission, NEC. Yes, the chairman that time was Professor Emeawa from Abia State. 1989 to 1993, the same NEC, National Electoral Commission, chairman was Professor Humphrey Nwosu from Anambra State. The same 1993, the National Electoral Commission still retained their name. Chairman then was Professor Okon Oya, replaces Humphrey Nwosu. (1994 to 1998), the name was changed by General Sani Abacha to National Electoral Commission of Nigeria, NECON. The chairman was then Dagogo Jack from Rivers State. That was the chairman of NECON. Under which regime General Sani was Abacha. Then 1998 to 1999, General Abdul Salami Abubakar changed the name to Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Okay, the chairman was Ephraim Abata from Delta State. 1999 to 25, the name remains INEC. The chairman was Ebel Gubadia from Edo State. From 2005 to 2010, the same INEC. The name remains INEC. The chairman was Moritz Iwu from Imo State. 2010 to 2015. 2015 June precisely. It was Professor Atahiru Jega from Atahiru Jega took over the chairmanship of the INEC in 2010 to 2015. Mahmoud Yakubu from Bauchi State took the leadership from 21st October 2015 till date. He's still the current chairman of INEC. You can see the picture on your screen. That's the current INEC chairman. This man is the person responsible for the conduct to organize a free and credible elections for the country. And he tried it, and it worked very well in the last election. And he's still working it out to make sure that the country took the country to the next level in this dispensation. He's still working it out. If you are just joining us, don't forget the subject is government, and we are teaching on the topic Electoral Commission. We discussed Electoral Commission as a body set aside to take charge of the election. Don't forget that this electoral body is neutral. Yes, they're not meant to be partisan. They're meant to be neutral in whatever they are doing, so that they can conduct a credible, free, and fair elections, which everybody will be happy to see. I'll be happy to know much about it. The commission at the national level in Nigeria is made up of a chairman who is the electoral officer and members of who are known as commissioners. He is the chairman. We have some members, they call them what? The commissioners. The commissioners. Hello? Hello? Let me shift this thing more. It's blocking my. Okay. At the state level, it comprises the resident electoral commissioner. The commission at the local government level is headed by the electoral officer. However, each state also has its own separate state electoral commission, which is in charge of local government elections. We are on the slide, organization of electoral commission, the way it's being organized in a political system. In our country, Nigeria, the commission at the national level is made up of the chairman, who is the electoral officer. What's the name of the chairman currently in Nigeria? Yeah, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. And members, other members known as what? The commissioner. At the state level, it comprises the resident electoral commission. The commission at the local level is headed by electoral officer. Okay. The commission recruits ad hoc officials for the conduct of what? Elections. Most of them may not be able to be everywhere. So they normally recruit what they call ad hoc officials to help them in the smooth run of the election. Ad hoc, for the meantime, they just take them after the election, they can go their way. Yes, ad hoc for that particular time, they recruit them and make use of them to see that the conduct of election is what? Effective and what? Efficient. Do you have any questions so far? If you have questions, let me know. Okay. Let's continue. Characteristics of an electoral commission. Characteristics can be the features of an electoral commission. The features, characteristics, attributes of an electoral commission. It has a neutral and should be non-partisan what? In outlook. It must be neutral. No one will mean that something is neutral. You are neither there nor here. You must be somewhere. Make sure that the elections are being conducted in a free and fair manner, in a way that the people of Nigeria will be so happy. They say, yes, that is what we want. So that when people vote, their vote will count. If they are partisan or non-neutral, if they have to participate in one party or another, they may, we are human beings, they may side their party to make sure they win, but they are not partisan, they are neutral. So neither there nor here. They are just there. Their major work is to see that everything about the election goes on freely, in a smooth way, for them to achieve a credible result. The Commission has both legal and constitutional backing in all its dispensations and actions. Whatever they are doing, they are backed by the law. Whatever they are doing, the constitution of the country is in support of them. So because they are neutral, they cannot go contrary to the tenets of the Constitution, which through it was set up. They must make sure that they are working in line according to the constitution of the land, according to the tenet and that set them as the umpire that controls the affairs of the election in a particular society. This is a body responsible for organizing and conducting all elections in a political system. All elections. They did not say some elections. They said all elections. That means in a political system, for instance, in our own Nigeria, the INEC, that's the name we call them, they organize and conduct all elections. And they must make sure that those elections are free and what? Fair. The appointment of members is for a fixed period of time and must be based on merits and personal qualities for a fixed period of time. And it must be based on what? Merits. Good personal qualities. You appoint someone that can stand the test of time, Somebody that people will know, see and say, yes, this person can do it. Somebody of integrity, somebody that knows the value of Nigeria, the value systems that operate in the country, somebody that knows much about this election matters and what it takes to make sure that they conduct a credible, free, and fair election. So the appointment is based on what? Merit, not based on anyhow. It is based on what? Merit. There must be merit. You know, when you merited somebody, that means you are the right person that fitting to be there. And you will not like to disappoint yourself. You don't like to disappoint the people that made you to be there. You don't like to disappoint even your country, neither the constitution that made it possible for you to be there. You have to be neutral to make sure that you achieve effectiveness and efficiency in your work. The commission has resident commissioner for each state of the federation. Each of the 36 states, including Abuja, the federal capital, they have what they call resident commissioners. So they are there to take charge of electoral matters in those states. They are there to take charge of what? Electoral matters in those states. Okay, we have the appointment of the commission is controlled by the chairman while other members are appointed. Chairman appoint members. So they said that they appoint ad hoc members to take charge of the electoral matters in various states, various local governments, for them to achieve effectiveness, efficiency, for them to get it right, for them to get a credible, free, and fair election. They cannot do it alone. There are other people that they will help them so that they can carry out their work very well. It has the sole power of announcing election results. They are the only people that can announce a credible result. Results are not to be manipulated. The result they announce is authentic. That's the one that is backed up by what? Law. Do you have any question on the characters of an electoral commission? No, for now, okay. They perform so many.
Can I ask them if they have questions, they should raise their hands.
So that I can see them.
Then we unmute them. You can talk to them.
Okay, do you have any question? Can I see your hands up? Yes, Rod. Do you have any question? You are just like you are sleeping. What's your question? No?
Enable your speaker. Enable your speaker, use trust.
This one that is like this. Do you have question? I hope you are listening.
That is Abiswogun. Abiswogun, do you have something?
No.
Okay, thank you. Let's go on. What are you following? Okay. Let's continue. I leave it to block my hatred, and that's why I remove it.
Although it's not reflecting on them. They are not seeing the.
Okay, the only one. Thank you. There are functions and roles of electoral commission. We are still teaching on the subject government. The topic is electoral commission. Remember, they are the body that is set aside to conduct credible, free, and fair elections in a political system. Especially in our country, Nigeria, we call them INEC currently. And the current chairman is what? Mahmoud Yakub. It's from Bauchi State. He took over the mantle of leadership from 21st October 2015 till date. That means he's doing a good job. Kudos to him. The functions or roles of electoral commission. The electoral commission divides the country into constituencies. For the purpose of elections, countries are being divided into electoral districts. We call it constituencies. Yeah, that's electoral district. In different states of Federation of Nigeria, we have up to 36 states, and the federal capital constituencies are being delimited in those countries, demarcated for the purpose of what? Elections. And the body responsible for it is the INEC in Nigeria. It registers eligible voters for election. Eligible voters, people that are up to the age of 18, for instance, in Nigeria and above, they are eligible to vote. They are the people that they will capture and register. It determines the type of voting system to be what? Adopted. You know that is legally backed up by law and the constitution. So they can determine this type of voting system we want to use for this particular election. This is how we want the election to go. Yes, the body is set aside to do such a thing. It provides electoral materials such as ballot boxes, ballot papers, polling books, card readers, and so on and so forth. They are the people responsible for that. We can't collect it from another person except the one made from INEC. Any other INEC, any other polling booths, ballot papers, or card readers is fake, except the authentic one provided by the Independent Electoral Commission as in Nigeria. Then the commission screen and register political parties. How many political parties do we have currently in Nigeria? Yes. And remember, Nigeria, we are running multi-party system. So they are the ones to register the political what? Parties. No shortcut to the registration. It must be strictly by INEC. They are the body responsible for the conduct of what? Elections. So political parties, associations that want to be political parties should go through them for proper recognition and registration. The commission appoints and train electoral officers. They appoint and train electoral officers. They appoint the people that will work with them, give them necessary training, necessary orientation that will help them to carry out their functions effectively. Remember, their main target is to conduct free and fair election. So to that effect, they have to appoint and train the people recruited so that those people will be acquainted with the current challenges of time and will be able to know the tricks, the challenges, and everything that goes with what? Election. It's also screen and register eligible candidates for election. Yes, eligible candidates. The commission has the power to organize and conduct free and fair election in a country. The commission educates the electorate about the processes of what? Election. They educate through their voter education campaigns, civic education to political education. They create awareness to sensitize people to know much about elections. You know, during elections, people normally develop apathy due to one thing or the other. So through this forum, people get to be aware, sensitized on issues of election, the reason why they should come out, how elections are to be conducted, why they should vote, and why they should make sure that their vote counts. Then the commission gives financial grants to political parties. They support the political parties they registered in one way or the other. They may not give them all the money they needed, but they will support them in one way or the other to make sure that they boost their morale towards the election. The Electoral Commission provides adequate security at the polling stations during the election. You know that in polling stations, adequate security needs to be put in place for them to ensure that the elections are free and fair. Enough security, but not the one that will be intimidating people. They will put in place the security personnel that will be friendly, but they will do their work. They will not allow any intimidation, thuggery, or rigging. Things have to be done the way they ought to do it. It is the function of this commission to do such a thing. Our country is so large, but they are getting it right because they must have mapped out their strategies and their plans effectively well before they embark on their operations. The commission is responsible for the counting of votes and releasing the result of each election conducted. They must make sure that after conducting election in different polling stations in the country, they are the one that demarcated it. They know where they know where they are, and their names are almost all over the places. The reason why they recruited ad hoc committees to ensure a free and fair election for such things, so that they will make sure that their commission, one person must be there or two to watch what's going on, the way the elections are being conducted, and the way the results are counted. Before they announce it, they make sure that it's credible and well planned, well organized, well arranged. So this commission we are discussing about, they have some challenges. Do you have any question for now? Are you following?
Let's see the chat.
This one want to say something.
How's the question?
There's one party that I raised. Not sure. Any question?
You can talk to Fatima.
Fatima, why do you raise your hand? Any question?
Okay. Any question?
Anybody with question, raise your hand up. Let me hear you. They don't have question. Thank you. There are some challenges facing the Electoral Commission in Nigeria, or some of their problems. It depends on the way you see it. Their weaknesses or the shortcomings of what electoral commissions in Nigeria. Yes, one of them is political interference by the ruling government, who may wish to influence election results. Political interference by the ruling government. Don't forget, the government of the day maybe appointed them, but they are working according to the legal backing of the Constitution. Sometimes, being human, they may try to do the other way around. Yes, too much pressure on them may make them to succumb to the ruling party, to do one thing or the other, or maybe to influence the election result on their behalf. These are major challenges they are facing. Yes, one of the problems facing electoral commissions, not only in Nigeria, in other countries. Political interference. As far as the country is a democratic country, political interference must be there, because the real people, they want to be in power. So they have tested the power and they want to continue. In order for them to get there, they can use different means to see that they maintain it. Lack of security during voting may provide opportunity for thuggery and other electoral vices. Lack of security. Maybe in some polling stations, polling booths, security there might be weak, or there may not be any person there to man those booths. Security might not be there, nobody to control the crowd, nobody to control what's going on there. So the people can do whatever they like. That is where you normally see people thumbprinting anyhow, falsifying their ballot boxes. Thugs find their ways to carry the ballot boxes or to disrupt the election because of lack of what? Security. But they are working on that. But they need to improve more on that. I know that is one of the questions you want to ask, okay? Insufficient electoral materials like ballot papers. Insufficient. Yes. Not that they lack. There's nothing like lack there, but insufficient. Electoral materials might be there, but it is not enough to go around. By the time the people in this area must have finished voting, they will start this from the other one. Or they say, let us go and collect this from this place. Before, let us go and collect it from this. All those things are one of the problems they are encountering during the election. The ink is not here. Paper for the writing of names is not here. People's names and all those things are the insufficient electoral materials we are thinking about. There are problems facing what? Electoral commission. Somebody said that sometimes due to political interference, that those insufficient materials might be caused by some people who want to win election by all means. That's the reason why they can hold it somewhere so that they can use it. It may be so, but what I know that insufficient electoral materials is one of the reasons why the conduct of free and fair elections is not visible in countries, even our country, Nigeria. Ineffective communication facilities for the organization and supervision of free and fair elections. Communication facilities. Communication is the life wire in a society. Sometimes there may not be service in some areas. Sometimes there may not be no network failures, no good roads. It might be in the riverine areas, no boat to move around to see the conduct of the election. All these are the things that make free and fair election not to be realistic in our country. So ineffective communication is necessary. When it's not there, the opposite will happen. Or maybe there are no ballot boxes and there will not be no means of communicating to the commission to bring it. Or sometimes there may be confusion in the center due to violence caused by the thoughts of different political parties. No way to communicate the security people to come in. These are the reasons why free and fair elections are not the way we want it in our country. Low level of literacy constitutes a problem to the Electoral Commission. Low level of literacy. Yes, this is because some of the voters may not be able to vote intelligently due to low level of what? Literacy. Most of them are not properly educated. Or even if they are properly educated, most of them are not properly sensitized on the issue of election. The reason why they will come out to vote, the reason why they should vote in this order, or maybe the ballot papers are too long, the way they can fold it before voting, and so many other things that goes with it. These are the reasons why the conduct of free and fair elections might not be visible in some countries due to low level of what? Literacy in our countries. Partisan activities of electoral officials who aid and abet the manipulation of election in favor of some candidates. And this thing happens in various states, countries. So, yes, the activities of most of the electoral officials, most of them are partisan due to one thing or the other. Maybe they are friends, they are classmates, or maybe they have given them enough money. And maybe they needed money as of that time, and they have seen such money, they will just collect it and make sure that they see to that they favor the candidate in quote. These are the reasons why election results are being manipulated in some areas. It's a major challenge or problem facing the electoral commissions. And somebody might ask, how these challenges, why is it so? Is there not a way out? There are ways to solve it. But it must begin with all of us. Yeah, the change must begin with all of us so that it can be effective in the implementation of it. Okay, there are so many officials used in the conduct of elections in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have so many officials. We have the chairman, that's the electoral commissioner. We have the resident, regional, state electoral officers. We have returning officer. We have presiding officers, polling clerk. Okay. Yes. These are the people that see to the conduct of free and fair elections in Nigeria. The chairman, we know much about him. That's the Mahmoud Yakubu. They move around to supervise the conduct of the election. The resident or regional state electoral officer, they supervise the conduct of elections at the states or regional levels. It depends. You know, we have federating states. So we have those officers in various states. the country that uses regions, those ones will give their various regions to see that they supervise the conduct of the election. Returning officer, they announce results and declare winners at the polling unit and wards. Returning officers, they are part of the officials used in the conduct of free and fair elections. They announce results. We call them returning officer. Returning officer for Ward 7 have announced the result of the election and declared candidate A the winner based on this and that. Then we have the presiding officers. The presiding officers oversees the conduct of election at the polling station. That means the polling centers. They are there. They oversee the conduct of elections. They monitor it, the way people are coming, the way people are voting. If there are problem, they can make the problem known to the superior officer so that they will rally around and solve it. Then we have the polling assistant. We call them the polling clerk. They assist the presiding officer by checking the list of registered voters. You know, they normally text the names of registered voters. They will go through it. Then as they are coming, the polling clerk will collect their voters' cards, check their names, tell them to do what? Print. And they will do that. So that's their work. All these people are the personnel put in place to ensure free and fair election. We have the polling agents, the party agents. The party agents, they represent the candidates of parties at the polling booths. Each political party will have their own party agents. Those party agents will make sure that they see to the conduct of election in that particular polling booth. They give reports to their party men. These are the situation reports. They are manipulating our people. They are buying votes. They don't want us to vote. These are the things happening. So these are their work. They make sure that they are there to give reports, situation report of what is going on in the polling station. They have the security officers because polling orderlies. They maintain law and order at the polling station. Tell people to keep quiet, arrange people in a way that they should be calm in the center for election to go on. We have the election observers. They monitor the conduct of elections and report on the freeness or otherwise of the election. The observers can be people from outside the country, people from different organizations. These are their major work. They monitor the elections in various polling stations in various states. They give their reports according to the way the elections are being conducted. From our observation, we observe in this state, this is the way the election was conducted, things were like this, but the challenges are this and that. They will give their own report and present it too. Then supervisory or presiding officer, they move from one polling center to the other within the electoral wards, listening to the complaints and settling minor disagreements arising from the polling units. Yeah, there must be disagreement as far as it's election, and people are involved, different parties opposing one another. Some will say no, people are manipulating us. Some will say yes, this and that. All those things are what they monitor and make sure that they dissolve it so that there will be peace in the polling centers. It is how far we can go for today in the teaching of Electoral Commission. Thank you for listening. Do you have any question? Any question? Okay. Do you have any question?
Sir, where will we write the notes? They have not sent the YouTube link.
And they will send it. Just relax. What you are following.
Okay.
This one. Any question?
Can you go back to the former slide?
Which of them? That one is enlightenment. Is it this one?
Yes.
Okay, what's your question there?
I want to complete it.
Don't forget about it. You completed through YouTube. Sorry, thank you.
Page editor.
You don't have question again. Then maybe
I think it's just few of them around.
so I'm not around. This one is there around.
Earlier, shoot you. Shoot you earlier.
Yes.
Do you have question?
No.
Okay, but you are following. Are you following? Not what's the Okay, you can take down your assignment. Is it 5 minutes? I'm through already.
Just take out your sign.
They are copying. You're through with the assignment. Don't forget the topic, Electoral Commission. And don't forget the names of those Electoral Commission chairmen in Nigeria. You need to remember some of them. Okay.